Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I will be giving you a brief overview on Seaborn, Pandas, and Matplotlib. Basically today we're going to be looking at patterns inside of the Pokemon dataset, which we found earlier in the other stream or video. And we're going to be using this link for our information of Pokemon. I will leave it in the description. Basically it's just a page full of data about Pokemon. There is the name, the type 1, type 2, the HP, the attack, defense, the special attack, and the special defense. At first I thought this was speed attack and speed defense, but I was wrong. It's actually special attack and special defense. There's the speed, generation, and legendary. So we're going to be using this data set for today's video. And today's video we're just going to be looking at patterns inside of the Pokemon dataset using graphs. So we're going to be trying to find like unique patterns that happen inside of this graph. So let's begin. First, we got to import our libraries that we need, which is pandas, matplotlib.pyplot, and Seaborn. If you don't have these pip install yet, then you should. But with Colab, you don't need to. You can just pip install in here by using this command. Exclamation point pip install and whatever you want after that, like Seaborn, like so. You can also do this with matplotlib and pandas, but I would recommend you to go into your command prompt or CMD. Let me show you how. So go into here, type in CMD, open it up, and then type in pip, no exclamation point this time, install matplotlib, or pip install Seaborn, and for last but not least, pandas, like this. And this will basically make sure that inside of your computer or Python libraries, there's going to be these libraries installed too. I would recommend you to do that, but you don't have to. You can just install it from Colab. So once you have pip installed, we want to import them, and we're going to import pandas as PD. This is to use to shorten the names instead of having to type out pandas dot something or matplotlib.pyplot dot Seaborn dot. We just need to type out pd dot, plt dot, and sns dot, which is really short and simple to use. After that, we need matplotlib inline. This is so that we can display our graph instead of like having nothing. If you don't have this, then you won't be able to see the graphs, so you must have this code. Now let's move on to the next one. This will basically grab the Pokemon dataset we need. So you might have already saw in the link. This is what it looks like. It just has a bunch of Pokemons, type 1, type 2, the name, and etc. And we're going to be grabbing this information, and then we're going to put it inside Pokedata. So this one basically grabs it, and then it stores it inside a path. So this is the path of a GitHub content Pokemon underscore dataset.csv. Use this one to get the path. And then after that, Pokedata equals to PD, which is pandas.read CSV. This will read the CSV file at the path, and it will have index column equals to 0. This will basically store our whole entire dataset, or this whole page right here, into this variable or this panda data frame, Pokedata. And then now we have a dataset of our own called Pokedata. Let's run this. Oh shoot, I forgot to run this one. I keep on forgetting to import stuff. Once I get explaining, I just lose track. But let's wait for it to connect to our Google Drive first, and then it's gonna come with an error for sure. But we just got to run this one and this one and then this one. So let's import our libraries. Okay, and then after that we will grab the information, and it will come up like a bunch of stuff here. But don't worry, this is correct. It's not an error or anything. 100%. So this is just make sure that it's stored in, and then after that in here we'll just store the information into Pokedata. Perfect. Now we have all our information inside of Pokedata. Now this works as any dataset would. You can do like this one, print out the type 1. It will only print out the column type 1. So we can see here it has 800 rows of type 1, and I'm not sure how much columns it has, but we can also check by using this command, pokedata.columns, but we're not there yet. First, I want to do something. Actually, let me show you something. uh let's type in Pokedata. It would be good if we have this copied. Pokedata dot um not dot head, which will print out the first five rows and all the columns, like so. And now here is what it looks like into a data frame. There's the name, type 1, type 2, everything that that page has. And there is these, which are the integers. It's the HP, the attack, the defense, the special attack, the special defense, and the speed. I will combine all of these into one column, which I will call total. In total, it's just going to be the overall stats of the Pokemon. So in here, we're going to make that happen. So we're going to have Pokedata brackets. Inside, we will name our new column. I named it total because it's what I want to name it. You can name it anything like overall or stats or anything. And this will equal to Pokedata HP plus Pokedata attack, this one, defense, special attack, speed first, special attack, special defense, and then finally special. Oh, I have two special attacks. I'm so sorry. I have two special attacks. I'm supposed to have special defense. Oh, how could I let this go? Okay. So once we have that all added up, we want to do is we want to run it. So Shift Enter to run. And once we did that, let's look at the columns. So Pokedata.columns will just print out all the column names. So we have name, type 1, type 2, HP, attack, defense, special attack, special defense, the speed, the generation, and legendary. Finally, we have the new column which we just made called total. If we were to run .head again, then we would have an extra column here which is total. Okay, let's move on. Now we can just oh, I have another head here. It's okay, I don't need that. So now we can just move on to our graphs or our plots. We're gonna be starting off with the count plot. So let's run it. This count plot will be about the type 1. So it will just list out how much type 1s there are. The x-axis is the type 1, as you can see, and the y-axis is a count. A count is basically how much Pokemons are there, or the number of it. So there's above 100 Pokemons with water type, around 125 Pokemons with water type, and then we can see like 70 Pokemons with grass types, as on and on. Also, we can see that the least one is the flying type, which is around 2 Pokemons with flying type as type 1, because this is because well, all Pokemons, well, not all Pokemons, but most of the Pokemons can fly. They have the ability to fly, but it's not like their main ability. Like Charizard, he can fly, or it can fly, but the main type is fire. And like Articuno, it's a legendary bird. I'm pretty sure it's ice. It can fly, but it's ice, so type 1 is ice. And Zapdos, Moltres, Ho-Oh, and so on and so on. They all can fly, but it's not like their main type. And also all the bug Pokemons, like I forget their name. No, Metapod. No, Metapod can't fly. What's the evolution of Metapod? Beedrill. Okay, Beedrill, right? If it's not, then I'm gonna look like really dumb. Okay, it's Beedrill. Okay, like Beedrill can fly, but it's like a bug type, so it's not really like the main type. But since all Pokemons can fly, or not all, but most of them can fly, type 2 will probably be flying. I made a prediction that it would be flying because it's, all Pokemons can fly, but it's not like their main ability, so they probably put it in type 2. Let's see. So this one I changed it, instead of having type 1 as the x-axis, I made type 2 as the x-axis, and you can see that flying just outweighs every single type, since not as much Pokemons have these types as their type 2. Most of them have it as their type 1, but you can see flying has like most of the count, because as I said earlier, I said this probably 100 times, but most Pokemons can fly, so they put their type 2 as flying. However, it's not like their main special ability, so they don't put it as type 1. Unless some special cases, then maybe they put it as type 1, because we can see here that some Pokemons do have flying as their type 1. Okay, let's move on to the box plot. The box plot looks somewhat like this. Now I will explain to you in detail what this is. It might look very confusing at first, but trust me, it's not. So, this colorful box in the middle is the average or the regression of the entire of the range. So this is the average. You can see all of this is the average, and then the actual range itself is these two lines over here, these two lines. So the HP, I'm going to compare between the HP, the attack, the defense, and the speed. So on the left side is just how much it is. So in here, the HP, you can see that it's around the range, or the average is around 125 to 0. And then inside of that, it has the regression, which is around 50 to 75. So this is where like the average HP is, and that goes for the attack, defense, and speed. However, we can see these little diamond shapes. These are called the outliners. The outliners are like those people, like maybe in your school or something, that is like very good at something or very bad at something. So these are the outliners. Either they're very good or too good in that category, or too bad. So we can see, as a good example in HP here, there is a bunch of outliners that is like exceeding the normal HP limit, but you can see that there is one that has 0 HP or 1 HP. I'm not sure what this one is, but you can see it's an outliner. It has no HP at all, but these ones have like a bunch of HP. And we can see that these two are very outstanding in HP. I'll give you a guess on which Pokemons are these. Your time is up, but for me, since I play a lot of Pokemon Go, I know that these two are probably Chansey and Blissey, since they are very tank. They tank a lot of hits, like from the best attacker in Pokemon Go, which is Alakazam, using Psy Strike. They can withstand a lot of hits too. I watched a YouTube video on it. It's pretty cool. It can like it almost outweighs the gym time. So whenever you battle a gym, I'm gonna go off track a little. But whenever you battle a gym, you have a limit amount of time to beat it. If you don't, then you just get sent out, and then you have to retry again. But Chansey can take a lot of hits, and it takes like around half of the time to kill Chansey, or to like knock it out. And if there was like not Chansey, sorry, Blissey, and if pretend there was like three Blisseys inside of the gym, then you wouldn't have enough time to defeat the gym, unless you defeat one of them and then get their HP low enough so you can defeat them quicker the next round. But yeah, anyways, I'm going off track. Chansey and Blissey are very good at tanking, and they are very high HP too. And then, yeah, this is the box plot. It helps us find the outliners and the medium or the regression line in the middle. So yeah, that's the box plot. Now let's look at the scatter plot. The scatter plot is a bunch of dots, and it kind of looks complicated, but I'll explain to you very simply. And I am using the x axis as defense and then the y axis as attack, so we can see if it correlates with each other or not. So we can see here that it is not as like great. So we can see that the more attack, the less defense usually. Okay, like over here, the more attack you have, the less defense you will have, unless it's like a very good Pokemon like this one. It has pretty good defense and really good attack, but most of it is around over here, which is like okay defense, okay attack. But it's not like if you have more defense, then you have more attack. It's kind of the opposite. If you have more attack, then you have less defense. If you have more defense, then you have less attack. But like as you can see, these are outliners, which like they don't go under the same rules as other people. And this is probably not Chansey though, not Chansey or Blissey, since they do no damage at all. Even though they're really good at tanking, they do like 5 attack damage. They're really really weak for attacking. But yeah. Anyways, these are some outliners that don't follow the rules, but most of the Pokemon follow the rules and go like, if you have a lot of attack, then you have less defense. If you have a lot of defense, then you don't have that much attack. So this is a way to find out some patterns. Let's move on to LM plot. LM plot, I will show you right now. It looks somewhat complicated, as I said earlier, but it's very simple. So we can see there's a bunch of lines in the middle. Let me explain the lines first. The lines are the average of the types. So here we can see the types, and this is because we put in the command hue equals to type 1. Hue basically lets us see in more detail of the graph. If we don't have the command hue, then this is what it would look like. It'll be all blue. It'll probably look a little bit more simple, but it's not that detailed, and we won't know which dot is what type, and each dot is a Pokemon, by the way. So now if we do this, we can see the type of the Pokemon. It might take a little while, but here it comes. So we can see each type. So like this one, we know it's like a water type, and like the blue one is probably like a rock or ghost type. But yeah, we can see more detailed of the graph, and we can also see that. Let me show you these two up here. You probably know which one it is since it's like 250 HP and 255 HP. And I'll give you a hint. They're both. Where is it? They're both. Is Chansey normal type? I think Chansey is normal type, right? Chansey type. Type? Probably normal type. Yeah, so it's normal type. So we can see here that since it's normal type, and there's a lot of HP, it's probably Chansey and Blissey since we already looked at that. But yeah, so we can see the types of each Pokemon, and we can see like the average of each type through the lines. And looks like most of them are around here, around 50 HP to 150 HP, from 200 total to 500 total somewhere. So yeah, this is the average line of Pokemon. But as I said earlier, there is some outliners that don't follow the rules, and they just do like amazing at something or really bad at something. Okay, let's move on to the pair plot. The pair plot looks somewhat like this. Sorry if there's a bit of sound in the background, but anyways, the pair plot looks it's kind of slow because it's a big plot. But it has scatter plots on the side, and through the middle it's a histogram. Okay, 1 second. Because since it's really big, it takes a lot of time to load. If I have Collab Pro on another account, I just didn't log in with it today. But yeah, as you can see, this is a KDE plot through the middle, like so, and on the sides there is a scatter plot. So this is a KDE plot. Also, I mean not KDE, a pair plot, and there is a type on the side. It's called the Legend, I'm pretty sure, and it's used with the command hue. Also, we're comparing the HP, the attack, the defense, the special attack, the special defense, the speed, and type 1 of each Pokemon. So we can see, let's look at the speed with the HP. So we can see that the more speed you have, the less HP you'll get. So like these, we can see that it's more clumped around here because most of the Pokemons have pretty good speed, so they don't have too much HP. Let's look at another one. Okay, let's look at special attack with the speed. So if your special attack does like 100 damage, then you'll have around 75 speed. And we can also tell by the KDE plots that the information. So if you have like 150 HP, then let's scroll down. Oh no, this is HP with HP, so it just goes together. By the way, these are all the same category as each other. So the speed with speed, the special defense with the special defense. So yeah, you can't really rely on these since they're not as accurate since they are the same category. But what you should be looking at is these scatter plots on the top right and the bottom left. And let's move on to the strip plot. The strip plot, we sometimes use the swarm plot instead of the strip plot, but since the strip plot is better because it uses less room than the swarm plot, and it's kind of used like a box plot. It's to find outliners, but it doesn't do as good as a job as the box plot does. So we can see here we have the special attack, the special defense, the attack and defense. So we're going to compare all of them. We can see that there is outliners over here, but we can't really cut them off anywhere. Like unlike the blocks plot, which shows like very detailed, like these are the outliners. We have to like try to see by ourselves which one is going over and where is like the average of it. So it's more harder to use than a box plot. However, for me, it is more colorful and more fun to look at than a box plot since it looks more colorful and simple. But yeah, let's move on to the joint plot. The joint plot, we have the x-axis as the HP and the y-axis as the attack. And our data is, of course, our Poke data. A joint plot is just one big plot, like so, and there's histograms on the outside, and inside there is the scatter plot. So we're going to be comparing the attack and the HP. So it looks like that the less the HP you have, the more attack you have, but the more HP, then the less attack. These again are the outliners, Blissey and Chansey. But yeah, we can see that they have very low attack damage since they have a lot of HP. So it either goes both ways. If you want a lot of HP, then you have to sacrifice your attack. But if you want a lot of attack, then you have to sacrifice your HP. So look at these ones. They have like 200, no, not 200, yeah, 200 aroundish attack damage, but their HP is not so good, around 100. But yeah, anyways, that is the joint plot, and let's move on to our last one, which is the hist plot or the histogram plot. The histogram plot, you only need to set one axis, since the other one will be the count. It's kind of like the count plot, but we can see that the x-axis that we're going to be using is the total, which is like, as I said earlier, the overall stats of the Pokemon. And to the y-axis, we have the count, or how much are in each category. So at 500 total, there is around 140 Pokemon that has a total of 500. And there is like this, like 700, not 700, but around 700 total on one Pokemon around. So one Pokemon has around 725 total. Also, there is like two that has around 775 total, which is really good. But yeah, this is another way to look at Pokemons in through graphs and through Python. It's a fun way to look at it, and you can find some patterns throughout your journey looking at graphs. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye!